any sort of counseling or outreach if the veteran needs help?
No, we
In
don't. Yeah,
okay.
we don't. We're not set up for that. I mean,
Right.
really, I mean, I am the the organization. So, I mean, it's not. This isn't a you know, we don't have people everywhere. It's me right here doing what I can with my family, um, and then the help from all of those, the partners that we have around us. Other organizations that are very well equipped for that type of thing. Um, oh, our I'm drawing a blank on right now. Some RWB is, and I'm trying to remember. I know I think of red, white, and blue, but there's another name I think for it. But they do a lot of that. They do a lot of outdoor activities. They get together, with veterans, but they also have the means for counseling. And usually they can be set up through the Veterans Administration and other places. But unfortunately, I think our country has just dropped the ball when it comes to veterans who come back with disabilities.
Completely. And you know what? And that is something that I find very, very disgusting and very disheartening and disrespectful. I am not a veteran, so I'm not able to speak for them, but as a successful American, or in my opinion, I'm successful. I don't know. I'm blind, college degree. I'm a teacher, podcaster. I try to educate the world. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm successful.
Yeah.
And I try to improve myself just a tiny bit every day if I'm not. So, but I think that it's disturbingly offensive that our country, especially Veterans Administration, has basically said, okay, we just don't care. Is to me, that's what it says to me, is that they don't care.
Yeah.
And I know that's not what it means. I know that they really do care, but I do have a problem with that. I am challenged by that because I don't know.
It's a very frustrating thing because we don't know where to really fix the kink in the system, because you get one out and it seems like there's another one that is now they've discovered now, and it's just working through all that when it should have just been done right to begin with. But I think we have folks now trying to get it done, and it's definitely better than it was, but still there's problems. They're working through it, and what little we can do, that's where we come in, and we try to let them know, what, now that you've got your family support, they're backing, you're ready to find out, all right, I'm going to do everything I can to live a productive life and be productive. Then we try to show them just how productive really they can be. And, and, sometimes I've talked to a lot of people that they end up role reversal when it comes to husbands and wives, and the husband is now staying at home with the kids, and they're wanting to be a productive member of their home. And every time we think about this, we always think of society. And my experience has been, if we can help them to be productive in the home, the society follows. I mean, they become productive in society because they're productive in the home. And it just goes from the home outwards. And once they're taking care of their family, they help start taking care of their neighbors, and they start taking care of their neighborhoods. And it just goes out from there. But I think it starts in the home.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think you were talking about that issue about how a lot of men who get married and then they lose their vision later on go through that struggle of deciding, which of course, since I'm single, I cannot understand that, but that must be really strange, having to try to, I suppose, convince a partner, convince a wife that you're still capable and productive.
Yeah.
That must be
I mean, because not only are they thinking they can't do anything, but sometimes it's the spouse who's not any better at their thoughts. Well, what can they do now? And while they want to be supportive, in the back of their mind, they're thinking that with whatever the disability is, particularly with blindness, they're thinking that they're just not going to be productive and the help that they want. And just as that veteran, that first responder, they didn't ask to lose their sight. Well, the family, the wife, the kid, they didn't ask for them to lose their sight either, but now they're all in that situation, and they need to work through it together, and that's where we find the strongest core of help is when we're able to work through that together. And so sometimes it's not so much educating those who have lost their sight as it can be educating their family.
Without doubt. Without doubt. Well, that's all really really important. Within the remaining basically 9.5 minutes, this hour flies by, always
Yeah,
does.
yeah, it does.
Um, now, what was your motivation in life to become a preacher? You have a beautiful voice. You're a great speaker. So why did you become? What was your calling to become a preacher?
So I was a heathen growing up. I mean, I was a little, I worked on a farm. I was raised right in a lot of ways, but I wasn't raised as a Christian by any means. And I went to school, graduated high school. I um, started college. I've held several jobs, but I made a choice during college that what the way I was living I wasn't happy, and what I was doing wasn't going to bring me happiness, and that was obvious. So I wanted to change, and that's when I really started seeking the truth. And so I found the truth. I found the Lord, and I obeyed the gospel. Had met my wife, who became my wife, and we got married, and I actually had ended up losing my job shortly after we got married. I worked for a heating and cooling company, doing ductwork cleaning and other things like that. And we moved to Kansas City, Missouri. And while in Kansas City, I got a job as a contractor with the U.S. Department of Agriculture in their IT department as, in essence, a glorified secretary. I would just take computer programmers' notes on programs and make it to where regular folks could understand what they were talking about. And in the meantime, someone had asked me if I would fill in preaching one Sunday. They were going to be gone, and so I had help getting a lesson together, and I went and I preached at a small country church. And as soon as I gave that lesson, when we got out in the car, I told my wife, I said, I I know what I want to do now. I had a job opportunity to move to Austin, Texas, and I called them up and I said, forget it. No, I'm going another direction altogether. And she supported me. She was behind me through it all. And we ended up moving to Kentucky, and I worked with a church there who had a preacher training program. And I've been preaching for over 20 years now.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's really all about the opportunities that kind of sneak up on us like that without any
Yeah. Yeah.
warning.
Yeah.
It's strange for me. I always wanted my own radio show, so my dream came true. But in university, I didn't study communications or broadcasting. I,
Right. Right.
I obviously not, right? Because if I had studied it, I wouldn't be doing it, right? So I studied international relations, and then I got into teaching English online after I graduated. This is about 5 years ago. I got into the teaching, and then, as I said last August, I was just, I don't know, I don't even know what it was that really, that really capsized me right into podcasting. But then,
Mm-hmm.
something really, two interesting things happened that you would love this. Then one of my other blind friends in the community, I don't know if he's on the Facebook group, but he's someone who I know in real life. So that's even more interesting, not just on Facebook, but a real person.
Yeah.
He started a podcast, and one of the first things he said was that, listener, I want you to know basically that I started this podcast because someone named Aaron Richmond inspired me to start a podcast. And then right there, I was just I was just fascinated by that. I was just touched by that.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's really cool, and
Mm-hmm.
that's really weird, and that's a really weird reason to start a podcast. And
Yeah.
then it started to click for me. Well, maybe my dream to become a broadcaster and educate the world will really come true. So
Right.
then there was this guy, some person on the other side of the country from us, and he started liking my posts and stuff like that. And then one day I just started talking to him, and he's like, yeah, I have a radio station. Do you want to be on the radio? Like, basically, like, so basically,
Yeah.
do you want a show? I'm going to give you a show. And then I was like, well, let me look into it. I had to look into whether my distributor even allowed me to distribute my content, and they do. And then it was just a simple matter of, okay, set up Dropbox. Okay, push play. Okay, your dream to become a talk show host just came true.
That's
just,
awesome.
Just like that. Through simply talking to the right person exactly the right second. And that is a fascinating thing. And I find it actually to be kind of sad that our country has come to that, where the opportunities we get are not necessarily always based upon merit. They're generally based on who we encounter along the way, along the journey.
It's not what you know, but who you know.
And I don't know if that's right or not, philosophically with you. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know if that's ethically right or ethically wrong. I haven't figured it out. What I have figured out is that I love doing it. I'm appreciative. And I try to learn one thing, one interesting thing from guests. It's interesting. That's so wonderful that you're a preacher. When I heard your voice, you kind of sound like you're someone who did public speaking, and maybe you did mention it. But once you said it, so I was not at all surprised.
Yeah.
So
well,
I think,
what's funny, in college, I failed public speaking.
Well, right, but that's
I did. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get in front of people.
Okay, but if you had passed it, then you wouldn't have become the preacher. If I had studied broadcasting, I wouldn't have become the broadcaster.
But one thing I did for 12 years in both Louisville, Kentucky, and Denver, Colorado, I did live call-in radio programs for the church, where we did 30 minutes to an hour of a live call-in program where people could ask any question they wanted to. And so I fell in love with that, and I missed that. And that opportunity is not here, but podcasting, I think, is really going to take its place. And I think we're going to be set up to even do some live podcasting where hopefully we'll be able to take calls and do that kind of thing. And that's my goal, working towards that.
Oh, you can absolutely, with Spreaker, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. There are so many ways of getting it done, but Spreaker really is the best. As far as the setting it up and the actual distribution. Yeah, how do you distribute yours? Are you on Spreaker or something else?
No, so my podcasts are on Spreaker, but they're not my host. Podbean is who we.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me in Messenger, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just figuring this all out. So I'm right at the beginnings of that aspect of things. Because it's free on Anchor, we do the church is there on Anchor. But I'm having a little bit of problem with the distribution when it comes to iTunes.
And that's what, and that's what motivated me to come back and check out Spreaker, because I was thinking, if this thing doesn't get onto Apple, then it's not going to make it. And then you're going to love this as we start to wrap it up tonight. You're going to love this funny story. So then I get into Spreaker, and just a couple weeks into it, I apply to Apple and think nothing of it. Oh, I don't even have 1,000 downloads. This is just a waste of time. Well, I fill it out. Then you just basically send in some forms into the Apple, and then I just push the send button. I thought, okay, well, there that went. Hope, there goes that thing. Then one night I'm checking email, and you get an email from iTunes. I get an email from iTunes support that says, Aaron's opinion is now available on Apple iTunes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Okay, that I said out loud. I said, okay, well, that's a scam. Let me look. That can't be right. That can't be right. And then I looked into it, and then they're like, no, this is real. This is really going to happen. Here's your link. Here's, the stuff we'll start to distribute. I mean, it takes it a couple of days. And then from there, I think once I hit Apple, then I really had some gas. I really had that torch, that's what really sparked my grill, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I reached out to the radio station and said, look, I'm on Apple. I think we can start putting my show on the air. And they haven't even gotten to the stuff that wasn't aired on their station yet. I aired about a lot of different things before. I must tell you, it was an immense honor and an immense pleasure. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You are, my friend, you are always welcome.
I appreciate that. Really do.
My name's Aaron Richmond. There goes the clock. As I like to say, have a good